day I wake, I make my mind up. I'ma be the one, be the truth, be the way. Yeah. Every day I wake, I make my mind up. Gotta keep my mind on the because they only telling their side of the story. Out here telling lies like they on Maury. Them poor rich kids get their money on phone it. But down here in the hood, yeah, we know Forex. We growing up, yeah. We got the goods. Good of them assets, good of my bag. Get rid of cash before the whole market crash. A news flash, just a flash from the past. We on the smash, yeah. Be prepared to hit the gas, yeah.
Build a land, get the wealth, change your name up. Get the title in your hands, put your game up. Melanation, elevation, arise. We the vibe, blood eye, yeah, we travel.
Try.
Blood eye, yeah, we travel.
Woo. That's my child. Woo.
Blood eye, yeah, we travel. Hey, hey, hit him with the high, yeah. Sherry no haka from Virginia, yeah.
I know I'm more because I'm less. I know I'm more. I pass the test.
We got to see with the true eyes. We need some brand new bright ideas. We got the hearts and some great minds, yeah. If we could all just be sincere.
Build a land, get the wealth, change your name up. Get the title in your hands, put your game up. Melanation, elevation, arise. We the vibe, blood eye, yeah, we travel.
Try.
Blood eye, yeah, we travel.
Woo. That's my child. Woo.
Blood eye, yeah, we travel. Build a land, get the wealth, change your name up. Get the title in your hands, put your game up. Melanation, elevation, arise. We the vibe, blood eye, yeah, we travel. Hey, hey, hit him with the high, yeah.
Peace to the party. It's your homeboy back again. I know we missed y'all last week, but we was busy and we was being productive. Y'all let me know and make sure y'all can hear me in the chat. I had to set my equipment back up. I've been gone, man. You know what I'm saying? Been out there on the road. We was out there in South Florida, Fort Lauderdale, and hit Miami. Had some beautiful conversations. Made history for ourselves within the party. So we see some of y'all missed us. We didn't hit over 15,000 subscribers since we gone. Hey, man, look like we in full motion, but you got to know, a lot went on while I was out of office. And we got to talk about it, bro. So, kind of an inspiration of what we saw and what we witnessed out there in Sistrunk. We're going to have Mac do a little build on it, break this down, because it's a lot of our Black American cities that's really just getting lost in the mix of everything that's going on. And I feel like if we was to talk about these things and really use the blueprint from the past to kind of move in the future, we could bring a lot of pride back. You know what I'm saying? Because it's really missing, man. And it's really sad, but I don't want to get on my soapbox too early. I just want to make sure that we lay the foundation for what we're talking about. So we got to cover some things that happened while I was gone. So we're going to start over here. We're going to take it to Texas, man. We're going to take it to Texas first. And I hope by now, for those of y'all who've been tapping in with us for a while, you understand the duality of what we're trying to push here. So obviously we need to understand the history so we can understand the backstory, know ourselves, know our people, all that good stuff. But we got to follow it into the present through action, through politics, through finances, things of that sort. It can't just always be defense. It got to be offense too. So I hope that y'all have grasped that concept. Hey, and I want to do a special shout out, man. Diana, one of our followers here, subscribed to us, sent us an email, and it really touched the whole party. Because sometimes we don't know the impact that we have. A lot of times we feel like we're doing this stuff and it just go on deaf ears because you hear more of the negativity can be louder than the support. But we got an email from this sister and she just was sharing how, information impacted her. And then she doubled down and showed us proof of how she got one of the local choirs in her area for Black History Month. They sung one of the songs for the Geller Mass Choir. Now that was powerful. We all at the party was very touched by that because to go from the internet and we got in real life and we doing things in South Florida, receiving compliments there, and then we have folks from all over the country tapping in and saying how it's really touching them. So that that motivates us to keep us going because doing independent media is not easy. So we're going to start with that independent media, right? So shout out to Miss Angela. We got a lot of researchers in. They always send stuff. You just see me and Mac speaking to it, but it ain't just us, right? So with that being said, I want to play. It's a war going on for the minds of all Americans, but especially us because we know our history, right? And so I want you to see the NAACP has never been a friend to us. They talk all that talk, but they didn't been around all this time. And yet we still hear them crying about racial justice issues instead of putting real motion within these communities. So it was very interesting with Jamel Hill and how the NAACP is saying that they infiltrate different media platforms to be able to get a certain messaging across. So I want you to hear from them first.
Platforms sort of shaping our perception and our history.
So how one see themselves on platforms really can embed a level of insecurity about who they are, their limitations. And so we have to get in there so people can see us at our best. Therefore, they see themselves in their potential. And so we have to get in there aggressively and not for clickbait. And so for us is that balance. Like we are a legacy organization trying to appeal to younger generations on social media platform, right? And in many cases, it may be us supporting someone to do it, not even in our name, because it's not about organizational identity. It's about community survival. And if we have to invest in things outside of NAACP branded to bring people back, then that's what we're going to have to do. Because at the end of the day, the vehicles and the tools that are on the table are really is what you're limited to in terms of fighting. And so we have to fight with everything we have and recognize that it's no longer the newspaper, it's no longer broadcast, it is social media platforms.
How do you see the organization aligning itself even more so with a lot of these digital creators? We've
already done it. I mean, we are on ongoing conversation. A few of them, some of the younger ones that are provocative, every so often I get a call, say, hey, is this the right perspective? Should I consider this? I will pick up the phone. It's already happened. It's happening now since probably 2000.
I want to stop it right there. I want to make sure y'all heard. So this has been my beef the whole time. So you heard how you say they've been doing this for a while. So basically what he's saying is, people who have an audience within the Black community who they have some sort of an influence, those creators are getting their political takes directly from them. So instead of doing their own research and coming with their own opinion, which is their right to do, they want to feel like they tapped in with a certain source that, because within us, we hate to feel like we being ostracized from the popular, the approved thought that comes from the Black community, right? So let me make sure I don't want to be this influencer talking wrong. So let me go tap into the NAACP. Let me check in. Let me put it like that. Let me go check in with the NAACP to make sure I'm saying this right. Whole time they messaging is terrible and their actions are even worse, but they showing you how they don't have to put their name on it to influence it. You heard what he said. So they don't have to say anything about the NAACP on it for the messaging to literally be coming from them, right? So this is what he's admitting. And Jamel Hill, I'm pretty sure she's one of them.
2001, and it's necessary. And we don't have to say, I'm doing it, because it's not about the ego. It's about community-centric leadership to ensure that we're all prospering together.
So saying that we all prospering together, well, what are prospering at? Because the NAACP been around for quite some time. Yet I see these folks still talking about the same conversations within politics. Like, bro, I ain't gonna lie, it really got me fired up. I'm tired of these people playing with us. It's like ridiculous. Once you see through the veil and you can disassociate yourself from worrying about fitting in with everybody's thoughts, you can see what it really is. These folk playing with us. They getting rich off racism. I seen a dude say that on Instagram, and I love that quote. I'm gonna start using that because it's a fact. They are getting rich off of racism, peddling this stuff whole time. They pad in their pockets while telling everybody else how it's so impossible for you to get ahead while everybody else is coming to replace us and they wiping us out, bro. Our communities, the way, man, bro, listen, now is not the time to be playing games. I used to be one of them same ones, bro. I ain't studying no politics. Bro, everything that we know through history, if you are a historian, you should know better than to know that to say politics is not very crucial. Everything that ever happened through reclassification, taking the land out, that was all political plays, bro. So we gotta remove the ignorance and really get active, bro, because it's real right now. So I want to show you, say how it's real, right? Now, we've been covering Jasmine Crockett this whole time because we can tell when there's a Democratic ploy being had and she was being used as a patsy, right? Because she's going to get a lot of, I'm pretty sure y'all know she lost over there in the primary in Texas within the Democrats, right? So she couldn't even win out on the Democrats, which makes zero sense because her name recognition was they thought they had this in the bag because she was basically a household name within Black politics, right? So they thought they had this in the bag, but you didn't know who you was dealing with. So they had to put it, they was just using her the whole time. So I want to play this video. This is Jamel Hill now. Because Jamel Hill been on her soapbox. She mad at the Latinos. She mad at the Black men. She just mad because Crockett ain't win. But she don't want to tell the truth about why she really lost. So watch this.
You something that's uncomfortable, but a very honest truth. People are not voting on policy. And they can lie to you and tell you that they are. Because if policy is what mattered, we wouldn't be in the position that we're in. People very much vote on identity. And if you say you don't vote on identity, you are lying to yourself. Prime example.
We need a fighter. And I was so ready to vote for Jasmine Crockett because I love her. But I voted for Tallarico because we need somebody who can win.
If you hold up James Tallarico and Jasmine Crockett, if you put forth their policy stances, you remove them and you don't know who had what position. They're literally identical. So identity was very much on the ballot. While people will say and tell you that, oh, I vote on policy, you don't. Because if you voted on policy, I'm going to just go ahead and say it.
So I agree with her on the fact that as far as their policies, very similar, right? Because this is the Democratic primary. So they ain't much opposed. They both are younger in regards to politicians. They both is on that socialism, legal immigrant. They on all this, the Democratic principles. That's true. But when it comes to identity, that's the problem because voting on identity is idiotic. Imagine a white person, right? If it's two white people going against each other, just saying I'm voting for the person who's white doesn't mean you voting for somebody who actually speaks to whatever your issues are. But like this shit is really common sense. Like we've had enough Black politicians in our lifetime at this point to know that just because they look like us does not mean that they have the best interest of the people that they serve. Whole time, they don't even serve you if you weren't the ones that helped get them elected. Just casting your vote ain't enough. But speaking of casting the vote, they wanted to blame everybody and their mama for Jasmine Crockett losing. But shout out to Roland Martin. Y'all know I'm very critical of him, but when I do my analysis, I don't just look at the positive, I look at the negative, right? So obviously, Roland Martin would be in the positive for Jasmine Crockett. He was backing her to win. But I got to be fair to him. He did give a good analysis and say that they ran a terrible campaign, they being Jasmine Crockett. But I feel like that wasn't her choosing. Because good and well, if they wanted her to win, she would have won. I never even heard of James Tallarico before, but I'm sure everybody who's conscious in this, following politics, you've heard of Jasmine Crockett. So for her to lose the buddy is crazy. But he was saying how the campaign was trash. They wasn't really hitting. They were just focusing on the major cities, going to the trans and the gay community, not focusing on the average, regular Texan. You feel me? And based on what I seen put out, I don't live in Texas, so I can't speak to the ground campaign. I just know what I seen nationally, right? But he was saying, as him being in Texas, man, it wasn't even comparable. They said Buddy had 30,000 volunteers. He couldn't even put a number to the amount that she had. So I'm telling you, they use her as a ploy to get us rallied behind this whole, because she's never talking about nothing except just being anti-Trump. These folks just want us to be, they just want to rock us to sleep with this anti-Trump bullshit, bro. And it's really disrespectful to us to not analyze what they saying and just go off emotion. And we got this woe is me mentality. Like, it's folks trying to tell us right now that today is worse than it's been in American history. Bro, what, like, y'all really believe that, bro? This ain't the first time a country done been bombed, that gas done went up. That this is protocol in America at this point, bro. We done been through every couple of years to do this. This is a cyclical thing, bro. But what is crazy is the way this media is trying to attach onto our mind, because this goes with the same sentiment that we was that trying to compound on now, which is the Black American fabric in our neighborhoods and our mentalities and everything is being destroyed purposely, and we participating in it by not having our own outside thought, our own media, our own platforms to be able to counteract that bullshit, bro, because it's crazy. So you see how she talking here, right? So shout out to this. It's a revolution going on of thought, and I love it, man. It just need to be more of us pushing that. So shout out to this lady. I'm gonna play she called herself the voice of reason, but she be kicking it, bro. Check this out.
Unfortunately, this is what Republicans like to do. And so they specifically targeted Dallas County, and I think we all know why.
Bye, Felicia. Bye. If you don't go sit your crunchy wig ass down somewhere and go update your resume, go get a job at CNN and give political commentary and talk out the side of your neck because you suck as a fucking congresswoman. It ain't got nothing to do with the fact that you're Black, and it has everything to do with the fact that you just have a shitty ass attitude. You know what I find kind of interesting is with a quick Google search, Texas has a population of 31 million people. Out of 31 million people, 18 are registered voters. 18 million are registered voters. Out of the 18 million registered voters, less than 5 million showed up yesterday to vote. 5 million. That means 5 million people out of 18 million registered voters decided who was going to be the Democratic primary candidate that is going to advance to the Senate race, as well as the gubernatorial and House of Representative in November. So, less than 5 million people showed up in Texas. It's quite interesting. Out of the estimated 5 million people who showed up and voted yesterday, right? And some voted early, but let's just say for shits and giggles, 5 million people voted yesterday. A little over 2 million people, barely, 2 million people voted Democrats, right? So to see Jasmine Crockett talking about, oh, the Republicans trying to wig down correctly. This is a perfect example of the inability to take personal responsibility and accountability for anything, right? Because when you stare at this map in regards to who voted for who, she didn't even bother heading out to Central Texas and West Texas to even campaign. She stayed in predominantly Black areas. Well, yeah, no shit, because she led her campaign on her Blackness. Not realizing that Black people are not the majority population. Latinos and white people are. The fuck? Girl, bye.
Hey, and I don't know if you've ever been to Texas, but you would know that what she said is accurate. I lived in San Antonio before, right? And it ain't that many of us here. Majority of the black people in San Antonio stay on the east side and the northeast, and even them areas now, just like all other areas, especially even in the southern areas, they getting overrun. Our black American neighborhoods is not what they once was, bro. And we sitting here backing these folks who is trying to replace us. It has, even if you have take politics out of it and literally just go follow how immigration has been handled. This has been a democratic agenda. Period. It just is what it is. That's not relieving the Republicans of anything they've ever did wrong with their bad policies, but they bad policies ain't got nothing to do with the immigration problem, which directly affects us. We keep trying to pretend like it don't, but it's obvious. If you traveling and you outside, bro, go move around these black cities and see what it really look like now. Who's in the ownership of these buildings and these businesses? Who's actually even just living there? Because it's not even just about who owning the business, who actually living there, bro. Man, it break my heart to go through these cities and see these places thriving and doing their thing, but the areas that we are in that are supposed to be our areas look like third world countries because it's hard to make it. So the people that's actually from there, they got to go branch out and go other places. They don't have the forethought or the resources to go invest back in their new. It's not as easy as it sounds, but it needs to happen. But it won't happen if we keep ignoring part of what the problem is, which is letting these folks come over here and go crazy on us and run it up and be enabled by the government while they look over us. That is crazy to me, bro. I don't know how you can explain and have more sympathy for somebody from another country to come get straight over here, but you don't care about your own people, bro. So they keep trying to say we anti-black for supporting that policy, but it seems like y'all really the ones who is, because the shit that you talking ain't helping nobody but everybody else. I'm just saying. So look, you got white people who can see it, but within black folks, we can't even have this conversation. Listen to what the leader of ICE said, bro.
Just ended African American political power, by the way, because of the demographic changes. Just basically made it, both parties have paid, especially the Democratic Party, a lot of attention to what black voters want because they're a huge part of the Democratic coalition. And now that's not true. And so it's not, this is a complicated question. Anyone who says, oh, it's just white racism is, what is your average black person in Chicago, native born, family been here 300 years? What does he think of watching his city overwhelmed with illegal aliens?
That's exactly what they think. I was up in Chicago last week. I met with hundreds. I met with black pastors. Black pastors are upset.
Well, they should be upset.
Yeah, they feel like, people who are not supposed to be here, enter the country legally, which is a crime. I'm going to keep talking about that, are getting massive amounts of care, right? Free hotel room, 3 square meals a day, free medical care. And the black community feels left behind because a lot of these people are, they could use some of the
this is a democracy, so we make decisions based on population size. And if you dilute the population, you dilute the political power of the people who are born here, very much including black people. So really, it's a takeover of our government, of our democratic system. And I just want to say it for the third time, it completely disenfranchises black people. And their, black leaders in Congress who supposedly speak for black people, they sold them right out, actually, fact.
And
so people hear this and I don't know, the emotional side take over. But like I say, I'm really trying to not lose my cool because I'm really so frustrated with listening to people be so damn ignorant, bro, without any research and then taking this for a joke what's really happening right now. Because I don't know about where y'all from, but if you from an area that's is heavily black, bro, you're not doing well. It's very small pockets that are, but in totality, bro, and we are being directly affected by the loss of job creation. You feel what I'm saying? The wages staying stagnant, but the cost of living has went crazy. That gap is hard to recover from once you've been in a hole for a certain amount of time. Then them saying, because, when Trump now said black job, people were acting like they were so offended. And I wish I would have had this video because a lady broke this down. She was saying how y'all was mad when he said black jobs, but now tripping because it's unemployment. Well, where you think them jobs went, bro? You acting like you too good for them, But then when them immigrants come do it and they'll cut your throat and do it for a way lower number, now you outraged. You help them do it, bro. This ain't no fairy tale to you folks. Talking about y'all trying to act like ICE making this up. That we didn't actually see these folks in cities deporting people, bro. They ain't make this up. We think everything ain't a conspiracy, bro. Everything isn't some you can trust what you see. At times, this is how this web of confusion get you, bro. That's how this media shit so powerful. It get you, you question the truth, but have no problem accepting the lie. It's crazy. You feel me? When we should examine everything, but if we see evidence of something to be true, we should lean towards that. And guess what? If something come in the future to contradict that shows proof, then we should follow that too. It ain't about an ego, bro. It's about knowing what's really going on. And this right here is affecting everywhere. I went to areas where I've never seen nobody other than a white or a black person. And you go to them areas now, they got all different ethnicities. Now look here, I'm not against anybody coming to America illegally. But even y'all who come here illegally, you come into somebody else's land that ain't yours, and you got to pay your proper respect. And we allowing folks to just play us in our own land, and we looking crazy out here, bro. We looking crazy. How could you support somebody? They wouldn't look out for you if you went to their country. So then, we got that side of it. Then, God forbid, while we was gone too, Trump them, they done popped off on Iran. So folks acting like we finna go to World War III. I said, oh my God, boy, you can't make this up, bro. So I had to go tap in. I had to go see what the streets say, bro. This the first thing I seen.
God damn, nigga, what the fuck you knocking so loud for, bro? You say you here to tell me I've been drafted. I've been drafted? So the Falcons saw that tape I sent in, nigga. I told you, hey, Pee-wee, I told you sitting in that high school tape was no bad idea. Shit, let's go there, nigga. Why the fuck you in a whole G.I. Joe outfit, though, nigga? I ain't know y'all niggas come like this and shit. You said I've been drafted to the U.S. Army. I don't know no football team name, the U.S. Army. What the fuck? Okay, y'all got a new team or some shit. You said to fight in World War III. What the fuck you talking about to fight in World War III, nigga? Hell no. You got the wrong house, nigga. This diesel. You said that's exactly who you looking for with shit. I don't know what the fuck you talking about. I don't know why y'all drafted me. What, this a rough draft or some shit? Y'all just trying to practice drafting people. They must be the rough draft, because this can't be the final copy. Hell no. Listen, I'm not going to no damn war. Have you lost your mind? I've been already served my time anyway. Listen, I've been beefing with Pookie Loke them since I was 10 years old. We had shootouts, all that shit, nigga. Falling the soldiers and everything. So shit, I already did my shit. I got PTSD already, nigga. I'm fucked up. I be shaking and shit. Everywhere I walk, I be shaking and shit. You don't want a nigga like me. I ain't gonna be doing the right thing on base neither, bro. I'm gonna have cookout, be drinking 40, fucking on bitches, playing cards and shit. Y'all don't want this type of influence around that type of shit. Y'all gotta be focused. I'm gonna sacrifice myself, say, remove myself, undraft myself, and I'm gonna stay here and make sure that everything good from a supportive standpoint. Cause I ain't gonna lie, y'all don't want a nigga like me on base. Hell no, I ain't no good, nigga. You said go ahead and get all my shit. Man, what the fuck you talking? Did you hear anything I said? Man, these folks trying to draft me, P. We ain't going, nigga. We ain't going. You talking about do some time in jail if I don't go. God damn, either nigga go to... Y'all nigga don't give a nigga no choice, huh? Goddamn, shit, how much time in jail? You said a lot. Oh, hell no, nigga. I ain't trying to go back to county neither. Man, y'all folks trim, bro. What the fuck going on? Why the fuck y'all come to me though, nigga? All the names y'all could have picked. You said y'all picked it randomly. I ain't bullshit, nigga. So is Pee-wee drafted? You said you don't know shit about him. Well, come on, hey, Pee-wee, we going to war, bro. Fuck that. He gonna come with me. You said he ain't going nowhere. What the fuck, Pee-wee? You gonna let me go to war by myself? Man, come on, bro. All the shootout would have been in with Pookie Loke them. You said this ain't no neighborhood shit. See, that nigga scary as fuck, man. Y'all sure y'all want a nigga like me? I'm trying to tell you, it ain't gonna be no good. Okay, I'm gonna go get my shit, man. You lame motherfuckers.
Hey, boy, they had me laughing like hell when I seen that, bro, because, you know, that's why I love comedy. Comedy, the best comedy hit on some truth, right? And so, yeah, people tripping. They go, oh, man, look what Trump did. We finna go to a war. They this, that, and the third, right? Bro, listen. First off, we not at war. I'm going to get to that because I got what he did a video. I'm going to let him talk. But most importantly, talk about the draft, right? The last draft was in the 70s. At this time, they were still doing warfare more hand-to-hand, you know, in the trenches, fighting man-on-man type shit. That is not how war is conducted for the most part. Okay, I'll give you a better example. We all know about what happened in 2001. So as somebody who served during this time frame, I'm telling you from experience. And y'all know this too. This is simple. That lasted 20 years, bro. That whole campaign lasted 20 years, the longest in American history. Guess how many people got drafted? 0. Matter of fact, the numbers started getting so high, they went through multiple different phases to where they was letting people go early and then making people stay. It happened within phases, but it was never needed for a draft because now they don't need just no random foot soldiers. They finna drop off in the middle of no country, boy. That's not how the war is conducted anymore. You got specialized forces doing all kind of different things. We got all these drones and planes, which was my specialty in the military. Trust me, bro. They don't need no regular motherfucker who don't want to be there when they got buku poor people in America who will definitely go to the military to get out of their city and have a chance at doing something different. This is how they work, bro. Stop letting this propaganda dry, y'all. Crazy. You got folks really stressed, thinking the world finna end. World War III over Iran. Bro, Iran been a problem. Once again, is why you should study. You know what's crazy? I ain't gonna hold you. How you live on this land and you rooting for Iran to do something to us? You do know that mean you could possibly be affected, right? Like, bro, do y'all be thinking when y'all get so emotional about now we gotta live in reality, right? Because at the end of the day, we can have our own grievances with what they call the United States of America. But at the same time, we still live in this jurisdiction. So we don't want things that happen to us and our family and somebody else take over. Because you think, I don't know if y'all ever been to Iran or the Middle East, but guess what? The shit that you can say and do right now, you ain't doing that if they in charge. It's a whole different type of time that they own, boy. Americans getting way too spoiled and not understanding how good that we got it in this country, regardless of what had happened at different points of time. And we got the opportunity to fix it. But instead of fixing it, y'all sitting around this motherfucker crying, talking about foolishness, bro. Following these people who finessing you and don't even give a damn. So listen what Buddy got to say about this, because since y'all think we at war, right?
This through your head, bro. As of right now, there is no war going on. No war has started. All down my For You page, bro. People just keep on throwing the word around. War, war, war. There is no fucking war, bro. Like, what is going on? And even if it was a war, a lot of y'all need to sit these conversations out. Because, look, don't get me wrong. I can agree that if it was war, that's pressing. That's something that we should be, like, you know what I'm saying, worried about. But y'all are on this app legit trying to scare people like Iran can just easily step on us. Or step on us at all, for that matter. I don't know if I'm the only one, y'all. I just keep seeing videos. I don't know if it's some of it might be a joke. And then for some people, they be dead-ass for real. Like, oh, Iran, we good, right? Oh, man, Iran just started a countdown. Why you started a countdown? Like, oh, man. And they be acting like, you know what I'm saying? Y'all don't know. Some of y'all might be joking. But some of y'all are really scaring people who ain't even into politics, and really just got them thinking that Iran is just like that compared to the U.S. Like, if you're going to speak on this topic, at least understand what we have as a country and understand what they have before you speak. And maybe the outcome of what you say will be a little different, because a lot of y'all know y'all really exposing yourself to what you know, which is like slim to nothing. Since this shit been going on the last few weeks, y'all done showed me a few different things. Y'all showed me that y'all just be talking and you don't follow politics for real. I learned that y'all really don't know nothing as far as the power of our military. Like, y'all underestimate us. Like, you underestimate your own country and put every other one above us. And I learned that y'all don't even really know what's going on over there in Iran. Why y'all sitting there trying to tell people, oh yeah, leave Iran alone, leave Iran alone. You don't know nothing about what's going on around there or why we even in this predicament right now. I'm not about to give the whole rundown of like the full history, because it's been going on the last 40-something years. I'm not sure exactly how many years. A lot of y'all didn't even know that these people really needed help. Like, I could tell, like, the people, for anybody that's looking at this, for you to just know if, like, somebody knows what they're talking about or not, if they looking at Trump like he is bullying Iran or some shit, they don't know what the fuck they talking about. Those people needed help, and what Trump did, they love him for it. Like, they was looking forward to him doing it because Trump said, oh yeah, help is coming. And he helped. I forget the dude name, the dictator, but he died. They're happy about it. You know what I'm saying? These are the people that went through this and was going through this. How in the fuck are you mad and they not? But you don't got no right to be mad. You're over here. Like, you don't understand how privileged you is to be here. Complain all the fuck you want, but it ain't nowhere near what the fuck those people was going through with that dictator. in charge. And it's crazy as hell how y'all not even consistent with y'all morals. I remember months and months ago, it was free Palestine, free Palestine. Right, was saying not our country, not our problem, and y'all didn't like that because y'all are all for helping people from other countries. Why not now? Why are people protesting, telling Trump to leave Iran alone? It's about helping them. So it's either you know it's about helping them and you just don't want them to be helped, or you just gonna have to admit that you don't know what you're talking about. Those are the two. There's no in between.
Hey, so once again, I got to give this disclaimer for the 9,654th time. And we at the Autonomous Party, keywords Autonomous Party, are not telling you to be a Democrat nor a Republican. It is much more intelligent to be an independent and to vote with whoever aligns with where you are personally, financially, politically, whatever the case may be, or even better, if you're the one backing the candidate and you got some type of financial interest in the game. However, you should always analyze every single thing that is coming from popular media because they are trying to steer you in a certain direction, and you need to understand why so you can see what's coming down the pipeline, right? And us being historians, we have the benefit of following history because a lot of the moves that they make are repeat. They are not new inventions. Why would you recreate the wheel, as they say, right? So, hey, we got to stay vigilant, bro, because it's real. All right. So we're going to show you again today, talking about another Black American story, another neighborhood, another city sphere that was built. And it's trying to get back to a certain area of glory because it has been lacking. Right. So that's what we're going to get to, bro. So Gullah Man Squad, they just hit me. They said they're ready, bro. So we finna let them go and rock out, do a little A-B. Then we're going to let Mac take over and tell us about Sistrunk, man. And we're going to take it from there. So y'all stay tuned. Hey, make sure y'all hit the like button, bro. Leave some comments in the chat, or if you're just watching, that's cool too. But please like this video. Send it to somebody else, bro. Independent media, we need that support. That's all we got. The super chats, the comments, the shares, the likes. It all matters, all right? Especially those new subscriptions. Shout out to y'all. But with that, go to the Gullah Man Squad and we'll be back, y'all.
They changed our names, but the truth still lives.
Some say we came from far away. Some say we've always been right here. Two stories at the same doorway, both chasing what our hearts hold dear.
Old maps, new maps, who's to say? We just want the truth that they erase.
Two roads, one people,
still searching for the name they stole.
Baby, baby, two roads, one people,
still walking back to what we know.
Oh, we rise together, no matter which path we chose. No, 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 two roads, one people,
still coming home,
still coming home.
Some want unity to heal the pain, some want records to clear the lies. But either way we break the chains and lift the story they deny. Lineage, memory, same heartbeat, just different ways to find our feet.
One people,
still searching for the name they stole.
One people,
still walking back to what we know.
oh, we rise.
No matter which path emotions into colors, but the truth kept living in our bones. Every step we take uncovers the road that leads us back home. 2, 1, people still stand.
Years later, the life of the Negro is still sadly crippled by the manacles of segregation and the chains of discrimination. 100 years later, the Negro lives on a lonely island of poverty in the midst of a vast ocean of material prosperity. 100 years later, the Negro is still languished in the corners of American society and finds himself in exile in his own land.
Familiar streets still feel far from home.
Born where the ground know my name, still asking permission to stand. They sold the future in papers, now we pay just to live on the land. No change, just rules we never chose. Old lies dressed up as law. If you don't know what's been taken, you won't miss it at all. Exiled in our own land, standing where we belong. Yeah, yeah. They convinced us this ain't our country. Now we've been here moving wrong. Exiled in our own land, roots deep, still feel alone. Taught us how to survive here. Never taught this was home. Hell came tied with a leash. Every favor had a fee. They call it progress, call it order. I call it quiet captivity. If the game was set before us before we learned the rules, you don't blame the player for losing when the table's rigged to choose. No border still confined. They erased us with education, left us searching our own mind. This ain't exile by distance, it's exile by design. They made us forget. Once you see it clearly, you don't ask for a seat, you said same ground, new rules, same blood, new name. Still here, still waiting for what was never meant to change. Still here, still waiting, same blood, still waiting for what was never. Exiled in our own land, but the fog lifts
Yep. You already know. Color Mass Quiet gonna get you right, man. Every time. So hey, look, it's time to go talk about Sistrunk, man. It's my third time going to go visit, but this was my first time seeing it like this. It was in a whole new light. It's built up, the construction is done. Boy, it looked good. I'm proud to see that for them. You know what I'm saying? So I want to bring Mac on here, man. Let's go and talk about it. Tap in, bro.
Yo.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I was just telling them, boy, it felt good seeing Sistrunk the way it was this time, you know, built up and vibrant, and you know what I'm saying? Everybody just doing their thing, chilling.
I mean, it's great to see it if you understand like certain things, but we're gonna talk about tonight.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, how everybody, you always talk about individuals and obviously genealogy and heritage and all that stuff, people to know about themselves. But when we look at the community, just even in the last, you know, in 2025, 26, right? So I'm tripping.
Yeah.
So we can go back to 1965, like how Martin Luther King is saying what he's saying at that time, right? Exiled on the own land. And these black communities and what he was representing at that time, how we could show going back even, let's say even 60 years of people migrating, right? And how people go different places from an area that their people were in going back to 1865, right? Because the Great Migration is what time frame? If anybody wants to put it out there in the chat. The Great Migration from out the Southeast, where a lot of us could say as Black Americans, as they would call us, have heritage coming out the Southeast and went other places. You know what I mean? From Mississippi, all that's Southeast to me. From
all that, just the South period. They was going to branch out to all kind of different areas in the Midwest or on the East Coast, and some went west.
That part.
You know what I'm saying? Some went west too, but period, leaving the South because of the politics, right? That's why you can't act like, you know what I'm saying?
No, you can't go around the fact, like when we get to present time heritage, and because everybody's not going to like you said earlier, you say, you know, historians, we've been doing history, genealogy. Shout out to everybody in the party. Again, you know, it's your boy Mac Aether, you know what I mean, Gullah Mac, you know what I mean? Shout out to the Gullah Mass Choir. You heard me? The harsh reality is, you heard me? So I try to keep it real about like the presence of us understanding, especially 1865 going into this time frame, you know what I mean? Or where we are now. Because as much as we like to do the deep history and all that, like this is what most people in their genealogy, you can now follow the migration stories of your family. You can follow the communities they're tied to. You can follow all these different things once you find out not only what they described as and how they got reclassified, but also the lifestyle they lived in the time frame of what was going on. I mean, that gives you kind of like a visual picture. You heard me? So the hardest reality is live life autonomously. You heard me? I want you to know that in this situation, what we're going to talk about tonight is the same thing. Actually, it's tied to me deeply. You heard me? Like, because of my heritage and how I said all that, I'm going to be able to explain why it's tied to me on that level. You heard me? On my heritage and migrations of people, you know what I mean? All that's going to come out because, you know, my people out of Georgia, both sides of my family. You know what I'm saying? But somehow or another, they migrated from out of Georgia.
To South Florida.
Yeah, Cusseta, Georgia, mama's side. Seminole County, Donaldsville, father's side, and came into South Florida. You know what I'm talking about? And this whole connection tonight of Sistrunk is connected to my family on certain ways because of how the heritage and the migration period of, let's say, the early 1900s of people, but in the time frame of my mom, at least, you know what I'm saying, and my father, I would say, you know, we could say their parents, you know what I mean? So
they the second wave.
Yeah, they grow. And well, my mama's side, she born down here. I'm gonna get to that in a minute. But my father, he came down. He was already 7 years old when he came down. You know what I'm saying? Migration wise, how that worked, right? Segregation though. Understanding like this is happening in segregation.
Right.
People jumping on railroads, not paying tolls. Call that a runaway move. That's a maroon shit.
Yeah. Gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, you doing what you gotta do, and all that's in my heritage. So that's why I look at people trying to skip out of that Georgia area and get down south to where a lot of both sides of my family, obviously how I come about being here today is because of them meeting each other and their families' migration. You know what I mean? Not just the genealogy part, but the migration part. See, so either way, as we get to Sistrunk, I want to let y'all know.
Hey, you want to hit with that recap video?
Oh, you want to do the recap video before I go in on the history or anything? Because I know Sistrunk. Matter of fact, no, let me just do this first.
Go ahead.
Sistrunk, all right? The name, because we do genealogy, right? Surnames, right? Because Sistrunk is tied to a person. We're going to show him, right? But I'm just going to go off the surname. So anybody out there that got any ancestry tied to a term or the surname called Sistrunk, right? So it's a Germanic. I had to look it up. I had to go like, you know what I mean? It can be spelled Sistrunk, Sistrunk, as it is on our street, Sistronk, Sistrang. They'll all be the same term. All right. Now, it's Germanic. Yeah, that's right. I said it. It's Germanic. And many scholars connect it to German roots, meaning the trunk part first, the trunk. Like you see trunk, you think of trunk, you should think of tree, right? Because that's what is tied to the roots of a tree. So trunk, stem, tree roots, right? Then symbolically meaning lineage or branch of a family, the trunk part, right? Then the cis prefix, SISCIS or SISS, may come from a personal name, and that's interesting. I ain't going into that detail now, but basically the descendants of that branch of cis or family stem line of cis. So the prefix would be the more of the lineage, and the trunk could be the family understanding of that branch of family. You know what I'm saying? It's very interesting, the name Sistrunk in general. Like, because I was like, you know, who got the last name Sistrunk when you start to find out this is a person? You know what I mean? Like some people might not even know that, right? Because it's the history of what's and how we get Sistrunk you came to. I done brought you down the street a couple times, and you come down here because it's historic. You know what I mean? The African Research Center sits on 27th, and I'm sitting on 9th on Sistrunk. Right now I'm on Sistrunk. You heard me? So I can say that. We live on Sistrunk, the Autonomous Party. You heard me?
Literally.
Yeah. And you see me live. So play the video now that I got the away, and let's play some footage.
So this we promised y'all, you know, we was gone last week, but we gonna do a little quick video to give you a recap, man. So check this out, man. Y'all, it's our first reaction video to a Maroonville, man. You hear me?
Exactly. It's our first time actually being to cover anything that
that's a fact.
Been doing. So we've been doing it
during the pandemic,
but this is our first time actually like, hey, it's Maroonville weekend for us internally, and now we got to externally show everybody around us what's popping. So let's tap it.
Hey, here you go.
People, again, I'm Dr. Anthony Dixon. I'm here with the Autonomous Party. Grateful that the city of Tamarack has invited me to close out their Black History Month with a showcasing of our short documentary on the Black Seminoles.
Autonomous Party. It's a social club ministry that we opened in the pandemic in 2020. Just to give y'all a little background on us. We started off as a mix show podcast on Sundays, playing music and covering history during the pandemic. So
you stopped it?
Reached out to people like
Dr. Go ahead.
Write books, authors and different people that come on our show for multiple reasons: social, political, economic, cultural things that we talk about, teach about, bring people in, our specialists like Dr. Dixon today that can speak on certain topics to educate the people and the masses that we're reaching out to. Obviously, we started from nowhere, but today we're at over 14,000 subscribers on YouTube.
15,000 now. Shout out to y'all.
So it takes time, but you keep it moving. That's the autonomous thing to do. Obviously, the Autonomous Party was geared behind the name because of the Maroon. And me studying Maroon culture, my father is from out of Seminole County, Georgia, right? And my people moved down here, Liberia, in certain areas, basically black segregated areas before segregation. My father's 81 years old today. So in the cases of certain things, I was inspired to always deal with the Maroon culture. And obviously Maroon, some people like to say runaways, but I look at it more like autonomy, and that the people left the system, an imperial system, and wanted to go start their own system. And when you get storylines of people like the Negro Wars and the different things that took place, these groups of people are inspired to be autonomous and set up their own thing collectively for their own selves. And they were ready to go to war about it.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, that's what we're here to just expand on it more. Thanks to Dr. Dixon, who's going to be doing this documentary today. And we want y'all just to take heed to the information, and afterwards you can ask any questions you'd like to ask or engage, etc. So with that being said, this is my man Monte. He's been handling a lot of our.
You see a boy clean. I tell you, I'm coming suits on him, boy. I felt like I was on Nation of Islam, boy.
He was clean. What a party, administrative, everything.
Yeah.
They was working.
You hear me? Yeah, they thought it was a game.
I see
For
you,
real.
Esther Lucy. You heard me? Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, bro. Yeah, tap in.
Recent news on our networks, everything dealing with the networks, current news and politics. He covers that, and he's our back office guy for all that right there. And shout out to other people that's here that showed up, Miss Sherry, Trail, or who are like founding members.
Peace to the party.
Yeah, shout out to Miss Sherry. Happy birthday on that day too.
And,
for sure.
There's a lot of people that couldn't make it, but they're gonna see this content. So trust me, what you see here today will be put out. And thank y'all again for showing up. And with that being said, I'd like to introduce, if you have anything you want to say.
First up, we call it Lil Fella. You know,
thank you, Lil Fella.
Shout out. Hey, shout out to Lil Fella, man. I did. Shout out to Lil Fella because she definitely came through. That was special there, so appreciate it. Let me get back right. I skipped up a little bit, got excited. I think this is it right here.
Very excited to see how to do that. Thank you.
Good afternoon, good people. Again, my name is Anthony Dixon. I was born and raised in Georgia. I came to Florida in the late 80s, early 90s, attended Florida A&M University.
Florida A&M? I ain't gonna lie.
When I returned, I always tell people I always begin at the beginning, so that's what I want to do for you all. When I returned back to Florida A&M to get my master's, I was working for a professor as a grad assistant, but you know, when you're at HBCU, you don't work for one professor, you work for the department. And so I was working for several different professors who were writing books at the time. And so they began to send me as a grad assistant to different places for research, for the documents, for the pictures, and all the things they needed for their books. And so I was being sent everywhere. They just get the oil changed in my car for me and give me the money and tell me to come back. And so Texas, Louisiana, Tennessee, South Carolina, they just sent me all over the Southeast pretty much, and of course part of the Southwest. And so as I was going to all of these different places and collecting these pieces of material culture, letters, pictures, documents, things of that nature, I became interested in who was keeping this information for us. And so we are very thankful and grateful for Louis Gossett Jr. for helping us get the ball rolling. And so at this point, where we are now is we are finishing up the full documentary, but we have a short documentary that we like to share with people to get them interested in the story and understanding how important this is to American history. Because like I said, I see our Black studies in 3 phases, right? The first phase is providing a voice to the voiceless, right? Looking at even some of these larger American themes, but telling our story, how we were involved, how we helped the outcome. And then the second phase is making the cultural contacts, right? There are cultural connections that we have not only just among Black people throughout the country and throughout the world, but it's also cultural connections to the larger American culture. You know, because Black history is American history. And then the third, and which is the most important, and that is, and I'll get into that a little later after the film, but the most important is, how do we take that information? How do we take that history and use it to apply it to issues we're dealing with today? Because there's no need to learn that history if we're gonna forget about it and be doomed to repeat the mistakes of the past, or we don't use it in a constructive manner in dealing with issues that we're facing today. And so I invite you for this to watch with me this 35-minute short documentary on the Black Seminoles and their story.
Right.
Thank you.
There's not enough information given to our younger generation, so they can actually trace, research, and read, and really investigate their heritage.
A lot of them either don't know their heritage, or either do know their heritage, or have a problem trying to prove it.
I want their recognition as Seminoles and as people who fought for their lives and fought to be free and lived a free life.
Our dad, he always wanted to kind of infiltrate to us the importance of never losing our culture. He told us that we were blessed and fortunate to be able to trace our ancestors down to 7 generations. And they're gonna say that we're not Indians? I just don't understand it.
Our blood is in this state, and we fought to stay in Florida. We fought to be even alive here.
I'm going to fight. I am not going to sit back any longer. It's in my blood. My ancestors are crying out. We're gonna do it. We have to get the word out. And I think that's important for the young people. They have to fight. They have to investigate, because you're gonna find out that it's a fight from the beginning all the way to the end.
Let's go.
Cell phone, with beepers and payphones, you heard me? You hear me now? That's classic right there. Now I'm telling you, for real.
And you can wait.
That thing was packed, boy.
Hey, man. Maroonville weekend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you captured, I guess it's not in all order, but it captured everything we did this weekend. So everywhere, you know, I see Miami in it, you know what I mean?
Yep.
I know the nice bill. And shout out to Broadway. That was a special
Shout out to Broadway.
Because we went down to Miami, and while I had them in town, I met Broadway on Sistrunk. He came up to Sistrunk, and I was telling Monte about it, like, and the dude that took y'all on the tour. Shout out to Armand.
Shout out major love. Shout out to him, bro.
Yeah, actually, he told me I got to come down this week and go see. He want to take me to see something. So I'm like, all right.
Right, he a good tour guy, bro. He took us through all the ones you can name. Liberty City, all of them. We went through all of them. We took boots on the ground.
Yeah. He know me too. He been like, man, send me the footage, man. What's up, man? So, you know what I mean? But yeah. So I had my folks. I couldn't go, but I sent them on the tour to Miami. See how that worked. Monte and the network. Y'all was all the way in Broward, right? And I was able to get someone came and was like, Mac, I'll take them. I'm like, man, make sure they straight. Am I lying?
Yeah.
I said, man,
nah, all facts. And he showed us love, bro. We went through all these neighborhoods. You know, shout out to East Solid for coming out there with us. You know, helping us push this mission. And bro, we ride through the neighborhood. This how you know we some older G's now, boy. I look over, boy. Everybody nod now. I say, oh boy, I'm finna take these niggas home. We going home, boy. And then we came back. We came back the next day.
They weren't really ready for it though. They had to come back the next day.
Came back the next day, and then that's when we did that interview. But you know, that inspired me. So that's why it's time to talk about this American shit, bro. Cause we done these. And I like the fact that they trying to revive them, but the fact that we even had to revive them is something we don't talk about enough and tell the story of the areas the way you finna do about Sistrunk, you know what I'm saying? How it even came to be and all that. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. I see, because this is why, hey, look, you know, and a matter of fact, I'm gonna give y'all a hint. I mean, just the term for these areas, you know, I just try to be exact with y'all historically, borderland. Remember that word. Remember that word, that phrase. You heard? Borderland. You heard me? Now, technically, monopoly, if anybody knows us from back in the day down here in 954, you know what I mean? Monopoly Society, you know, the things we've been doing as a network, with online radio stations and everything. Obviously, you know, developing things we've been doing in our local area. It's borderland, you know what I mean? Borderland maroon shit type shit. So at the end of the day, though, you know, when we did this platform via Thomas Party, we had to broaden it to reach more people that we would say called Black Americans that are actually tied to certain things we have in common in modern day time in our Black communities, right? You know what I'm saying? Hey, Monte, keep it real. See, I'm gonna keep it real. We was at the smoke shop when I had to have y'all meet me, right? My boy, I gotta give a shout out to Happy Days, right? And remember the lady that was in there and she was like, hold on now, you talking about Sistrunk?
Oh, she wasn't playing about that Sistrunk point there.
She was like, hold on, so where you from? Remember she was acting how she was acting, right? That's how serious it be though. And that's like, even though, and I'm gonna get into it though. So at the end of the day, I mean, it's a lot of things that we talk about online, but we can see it, y'all got to see it in real life. You know what I'm saying? Right. Monte, when y'all came down this time from Maroonville, we got active. You know what I mean? Every night. You know what I'm saying? You seen us setting up Monte the show, because we did the after party. By the way, the party, Monte, my line, put it on the party. Did we not do the after party for the Kiki Wyatt joint? Did we?
Thanks. Okay. That's when you seen us walk up. When me and E Solid walked up and seen Mac, he said, "It's his time to shine."
It's my time to work.
Yeah.
Hey, we had a good time. Hey, we had a good time. But now I'm working. You heard me?
Yeah.
Shout out to
this was all in the same day. So we did the lecture earlier in the day, like 1 o'clock. You know, shout out to Dr. Dixon, but most importantly, shout out to Tamarack for even putting that together to where we could do it. Bro, that was one of the best community centers I ever seen in my whole. I told you that that thing was multiple stories, had full staff. This was a Saturday, bro.
Yeah, they were full staff too. Hey, and they had parks. You see, they had other events.
That looked beautiful, bro. It was booming.
You know what I'm saying? So kids, everything going to different things, but they gave us that space Tuesday. So we y'all saw
it was state of the art. HDMI plug in, it was plug and play, bro.
Man, the party, man, we gave them the upright service though, Monte. We paid the insurance to make sure nothing happened to
We do
nobody.
proper business, bro.
Listen, man, business is business. It's Autonomous Party business. Maroonville weekend, we had the doctor come in like, hey, 5 years ago, because some people don't know. I'm gonna talk some shit real quick.
Yeah,
See,
hobby, bro.
you came down, I think the year after I met you, which is like 2021. You know what I mean? We started in 2020, but after we got on Clubhouse, I gotta give credit. That's because how I met you and other people, networking and vibing, and Maroonville is what we call it today. At that time, we were still calling it the Thomas Party, right? You know what I'm saying? Because we were just trying to get out there, but then we didn't figure it out. Maroonville. That's what we get. When we came up with Maroonville, it was like, this is what we gonna do to get our collective of people to understand that Ville type job. You know what I'm saying? Maroon and in the Ville. You heard me? Maroon. So at the weekend, we called it that 2 years ago. But the first 2 times we actually met, it wasn't even called Maroonville yet. Am I lying?
No, thanks.
All right, so the first time y'all came, we went to the museum, Machu Picchu, right?
Yeah.
And then I had y'all down there actually in Dania, right?
Yeah.
Dania, and we did the meet and greet in Dania complex they built up in that area, which is right across from our mother's side of my family, which is Liberia. You remember? Y'all stayed down that way the first time in the Airbnb. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and y'all was in Hollywood, which is close to the Hard Rock, and then I took y'all to the Hard Rock. Seminoles, big time thing. You heard me? So that's why it's crazy that 5 years later, right? We doing a presentation, and all the things you've seen, you done been down here at least 3 times, right?
Yeah.
And in the progression of what we doing and showing what we doing in our city, like, yeah, bro, we can take you on, and you want to get to Miami or West Palm too, we can do that too. But at the same time, I keep it real where I'm at. You know what I mean? Shout out to Broward 954. Like I'm sitting on Sistrunk right now. Provident, you know what I'm talking about? You know what I mean? Blueprint Recording Studios in Provident, you know what I mean? Off Sistrunk, you heard me? So it's like, I think it's all full circle if you think about it from how you saw
this
place when I brought y'all here on Sistrunk the second time y'all came down. I brought y'all to the research center sitting on 27th, and then I brought y'all down. I showed you the Sistrunk Festival, right? It's the first time y'all saw it, second time, and I showed you the building. And shout out to my man Devon who built this all out. You know what I mean? For the community, sitting on the corner of Sistrunk and Knife. All this is, his idea of what he did to bring a co-op situation for the Black community, urban, and what we're doing, because he see what's coming. He in the real estate, so he was like, oh, well, I capture this corner at least and do this. You know what I'm saying?
It's obvious and it's genius, because when that corner right there, when you look out that corner, you see nothing but high rises and everything to your right. You can see what's finna happen. So you see the Hey, so this is really like some this is the warning sign. This is the flare going up to y'all, that y'all need to be looking into these policies and opportunity zones, and already made this available in every urban area in America.
Say it again.
You just gotta tap in. Yeah, like that's the so the opportunity, this is the way that you can use the nation build right now in your city, is through opportunity zones. It's policy that's already been enacted. It's in the majority of every urban area to be revitalized. This is why you see folks coming to build in these areas now. You wonder why the hell would they invest here right now? It's because they planning for 10 years. They not worried about right now. They know what's on the way. We still thinking it's this old system. We gotta wake up, bro.
That part. Hey, so everything within that, in the context of what you've seen in 5 years, 5 years of what we've done. Sunday show. We still on Sunday, right? Y'all see we on Sunday right now, right? We changed a little bit though. Y'all remember? Shout out to Blaze. Blaze did all the sound for the after party. You see what I'm saying? He was from the beginning. You heard me? Doing the sound. Shout out to Mix Muni Lounge. They were there. You see what I'm saying, Monte? See all the people who I had with me then, I brought them with me. We all in the city. We all know what we do. Do what you do in the community. Let's make this happen autonomously. And we did it. You know what I mean? So, in fact, we was able to pull that off autonomously. You heard? Within our network, on a Black Wall Street corridor should be, because it's an urban zone now, opportunity zone now. But before segregation, this was the center of economic and health services that you could get if you were trying to get the best service in our community. It was off of Sistrunk, tied to the Provident, tied to Sistrunk surname family, the person we gonna show and everything too. Cause we gonna show you, like Jenny, like we gotta give credit to our people in our communities that were actually developing. See what I'm saying? Now we start developing, we just want to be consumers. But these people were really developing and they had no choice at the time. They didn't have no choice.
And we need to get back on the same mindset, bro. But we ain't got no choice now neither.
Some people like say, foundational and all that for I guess to inspire people to understand our like how I'm about to break down, you know what I'm saying? This right here, right? No, we ain't got to be insecure about what we know we built and how we are the urban center. You know what I mean? The term urban. We are the urban centers because during segregation, before mass groups of people would be able to come in the influx of immigration into any of these areas and be classified as minorities, groups of people in these urban centers, they're going to the urban centers based off the foundation of the townships and the things that were already set up by people who were called free people of color.
Yep.
See what I'm saying? That's just a fact. You know what I mean? Lay it down like that, leave it like that alone. Leave it alone. If you got, I'm just keeping it real. I got always show, because I know, I'm going to show you how tonight, right now, but pull up the first thing. I'm going to tell you this slide. I'm ready.
All right.
Because, I got to get to it. You know what I mean? Because, you know what I'm saying? We can get, I don't want to miss nothing in this little clip we're going to give them about the history of this right here real quick. I want to make sure you see something, though, because as Maroons, we do, as historians, and as you've seen, we show you the clip, the Black Seminole Project with Dr. Dixon, right? And if y'all go back and watch the joint we did with him before we did this weekend, and he come down, and that was the promotion for it. That's why we brought him on at that time. If you didn't know it, catch on. But at the same time, the free Black settlements, you know what I mean? I want you to focus on free Black settlements. That's free people of color settlements that would be in the regions of Florida, Southern Georgia, Alabama. You heard me? I got family from all these areas. This is why I've been so in tune to it. And all that area is going to be tied to the Muskogee. You heard me? Shout out to the Muskogee. You heard me? I got to say it like that. And their towns, red and black, as people would call, were obviously associated to the red stick, being that they did not submit in a certain way, tied to the wars that Dr. Dixon was in that book talking about. You heard me? And them black towns in Escalante language, as we call Muskogee, it would be Tawa. Tawa means town. It's also a national understanding of how to govern something. You know what I mean? Autonomously in your town, your community, how you build it out, etc. You know what I mean? And who you ally with, town-wise, nation to nation, clan to clan, family. You know what I mean? However, all this is still tied. You see they're going to put the word African on it. You know what I mean? But don't get that confused, because at that time frame, these are people that have roots, and obviously they're migrating, as we know, underneath the terminology of being free people of color, and obviously federally known as freedmen, right? You know what I'm saying? Based off the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment. You know what I'm saying? So now people migrating to where they think, hey, this is the best situation for me, such as my family. They came south. We're going to slide down a little bit, though. I mean, I want to show you just a little something. I think it had a map on here, Denham, Florida, because being in Florida. It has a whole little map on this joint. You can put it in the chat for everybody, too. We can keep it sliding. Go up though. I think it's when you share it, but go up. It should be a map of Florida showing early settlements and all the little markers and stuff. That's what I wanted to show as a picture. Supposed to be tied to this source.
You say at the top?
Go down. You got to slide down. I guess there. It is right there. That's all I want. That's what I want to highlight. I mean, share it for everybody to read it if they want to. But
yeah, it is in the chat.
Bet money. Make that a little bit bigger so they can see Black settlements. You know what I'm saying? History of Black history don't stop for us. When we talk about our people, foundationally speaking, it's probably the biggest you're gonna get it.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what it's gonna let me do.
Yeah, I like that one. That's the one I want right there. That's the one I want. Now, see if you can make that bigger for everybody. That's it. All right.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to go look at it anyways. All right. So, all these areas, right, are Black settlements based off this link that I'm providing to y'all tonight, showing how early migrations tied to after 1830, obviously before 1865, and then after 1865, going into the 1900s, right? These are all Black settlements, and people who never left them Black settlements, who would be classified as Negroes in these territories, going into where the counties, right? As counties developed, right? You came down here to Broward, right? Broward County, Monte, right? But there's black settlements that were already in these areas before the county became known as a county. You heard what I said? You catch what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right. Now, within that context, there's one of them that's very popular. We talked with Dr. Dixon. It's going to be called the Angola, right? Maroons. When you research it on a website, you Google it a bit, you know what I mean? However the case, it's going to be up there. Like, you know, I always say Sarasota, it's really like, you can't make it any bigger, but either way, it's northern Florida, but it's like Tampa-ish. I like to say Tampa-ish.
Yeah.
But Tampa area, north a little bit, or like St. Augustine, Tampa area, right? Either way, Fort Moses, Fort Negro, all that in that area, and how that area right there has that history. So we already know there was black settlements there, right? Being in a maroon position, right? And we can say that's even before the decree that was made by Florida, Spain territory in 1639 that he mentioned in the presentation he did, right? You remember that, Monte? On Saturday, he mentioned 1639 because there was a decree of the Spanish saying anybody that can get to this territory could be free. And they set up black settlements, you know what I mean? And at that point, they're in a maroon position. See what I'm saying? This is before the Seminole Nation is formed or even recognized even later on as a federal situation, meaning there was already Negroes in the settlements settling in these areas from the 1639 before there was even Muskogee formulation first. There isn't even the Muskogee Creek Federation yet. And then there isn't a Seminole Federation that breaks away from the Muskogee yet. That we had Negroes, as they would call it, described in these territories with indigenous people as well, like the Timucua and the Tequesta, because this area I live in is actually the Tequesta. Remember I told you that the first time. I took you to the mound, right? Monte? I did all this for a reason. See, now 5 years later, I understand and respect to those who came down after the fact, but we showed you the mound, and we know the mound predates what Buddy said in that was there that day. He said his people came down 1,000 years ago. Remember he said that?
Yeah, he said that came from 1,000 years from Georgia, is what he said.
Right, but guess what though? The Tequesta predates 1,000 years, don't it?
I mean, yeah, and you know, his whole, you know, that whole thing is capped anyway, because them ain't the ones that was.
You're not even the original people that built the indigenous stuff down here.
Yeah, so to fill y'all in, this is pretty
Miami
interesting.
Circle and all that.
Yeah, we had a what you would call Indian come in who is the phenotype of Asian, right? So he sat in there the whole time. So he had some questions at the end, but basically, he was saying how his people came to Florida out of Georgia. Now I mean this with all respect and disrespect. I ain't gonna hold you.
Oh Lord.
I ain't saying y'all ain't no Indians, but y'all from that West Coast. Y'all ain't from the South, bro.
Or they could be North.
That out. Or the North, but it ain't the South.
But
you're not from the South.
You're not tied to the mound building situation
at all. You're not a Mississippi mound builder, bro.
You're not tied to the mounds in the region. They predate 1,000-year migration of any indigenous people who would be called and labeled Indians, that we use today, based off of that understanding and that ideal of race theory, given the idea that a phenotype matches what is being called an Indian in its original origin. You know what I'm saying? I think that right there is messing people up in layers. You hear me? But we ain't gonna get into that right now today. So slide on to the next joint though. But either way, I just wanted to give that highlight because we're gonna get into, obviously what it's about. Sistrunk ain't gonna take me long.
Yeah.
They the highlights, but they're the last thing we're gonna go into. You hear me? And now y'all should go into the history of your own areas because everybody got this, right?
This is the blue. Okay, so this is the blueprint. Yeah, so this is how. So when you ask Mac like what it was gonna be about, this why, because you doing this right now is gonna show people how you take your genealogy and then go study the history of an area, how you put these together. So they can understand. You feel me? Because it's more than just what your people names was, bro. You got to know what was going on in the areas. Right. Yeah.
All right, for sure. So historic Sistrunk, as you see here, and it's going, Fort Lauderdale, throw the L's up for all my people out of 954. We got to throw the L up one time. You heard me? At the same time, oldest historic Black district. So when you see that word district, Black district, when you hear people say, "Oh, Black Wall Streets," that's that.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
That's what it is. In history, during segregation, meaning it had a medical center, it had lawyers, it had businesses. You know what I mean? The whole strip was an economic strip for during segregation, where Black people in the region of the county, as we know it today, would have to go to be serviced for certain things because they couldn't go nowhere else.
Mm-hmm.
You heard me?
Now think about how big this area is now, today.
Directly, my family literally, I wouldn't be here without this Sistrunk thing right here. It's tied to my ancestry that deep. So named after Dr. James Franklin Sistrunk. See, so I gave y'all in the beginning, I gave y'all the surname breakdown, right? But this is the man. Matter of fact, show the picture. I think I sent that to you. You can show it right now if you want to. I think it's a picture so everybody can see the man, you know what I'm saying, tied to history of that district. Provident Hospital and everything tied to it. Oh, yeah, that one first. Actually, I got some surprises for y'all. So this right here though, James, you see me, that man right there? All right, so he's the doctor, all right, and he's an investor in this district. This man opened up a hospital, and that hospital was called Provident Hospital. You heard me? The place we did the after party at after the Sistrunk Festival, sitting on Sistrunk and 9th, is called Provident Market. You heard me? That's crazy how that worked out, right? Okay, so now, shout out to D for that one right there. That was deep. I don't know if he went that deep, but he did it, so it is what it is. Okay, so Central of Black Economic Social Life Enduring Segregation. It is the location of Provident Hospital, first hospital. Look. Provident Hospital, first hospital for Black residents in Broward, meaning 954. So if your people,
which is a huge county with a lot of property,
down to the county lines, we call it, get into Miami. So you could be all the way where my family is actually from, Liberia, Hollywood, right, Hollandale, and all them areas where both sides of my family are actually out of Liberia on my mama's side and Hollandale. You know what I'm saying? Carver Ranches, shout out the ranches on my father's side. So in that case, location of the Provident Hospital, again, this is how this works. Cultural hub for Black businesses, churches. As you know, when they say, oh, the Black neighborhood got so many churches in it. Yeah, this is the area they can go buy a piece of land and they do what they do and put a building. My grandma did it, by the way. You feel me? And he operate a certain way, autonomously within their community, and service their people within their community, especially if you're coming out of the ideal of segregation, when you had no choice but to service your own people. You ain't have no choice.
This was built during segregation.
Yeah, all this is being done between 1910 and 1930. Where these places are being actually, because people are migrating down for jobs, then with the railroad system and people, different laboring things that were happening market-wise for them to get jobs, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Better than what it was in Georgia at the time, being honest. So at the same time, culture, slide up though. Either way, you know what I mean? Shout out to the Bahamians, obviously, that's tied to this. And you seen Broadway, remember Broadway? When we saw him in Miami, what'd he say? What'd he say about Miami? The first people to sign on the documents for that city to become Miami are Bahamians, Black, right? There was not that many of people at that time when it became a city. They had actually used Bahamian people who would be classified to look like me and you, as we call it today.
Correct.
Black Negroes. And that's history tied to them. So that's why Bahamas, we eat conch down here. We eat fried conch all day for me. I mean, Zoes and them, they eat it stewed in different ways, but I always was raised, eating it, fried with the hot sauce, however the case might be. Late 1800s, because of the influence where I'm at, we got the Bahamian culture, just like how other places got they, you know what I mean? But this is what, it's tied to our roots of what's been here in our area and development of people called free people of color. So in this ideal of migration, Bahamian workers to South Florida. That's why they also don't understand that when I showed you that earlier map, there's people that left out of this area, went into this area down here where I'm at, and went into the Bahamas. And then they returned. So that's why the Bahamas and South Florida has a very big connection because of the Black Seminole situation, the Red Bays and all them. Shout out to my folks out in the Bahamas, you know what I'm saying? Tied to the Black Seminole heritage, you know what I mean? As Dr. Dixon will be going to the Bahamas on March 9th to actually talk to them people.
Right.
Tied to this corridor of history, right? So, again, railroad, agriculture, construction projects, settled Miami, Coconut Grove, Key West, and Fort Lauderdale. They always try to leave out Hollywood, though. I don't know why they do that. But, yeah, we there, though, Broward County. You know, I don't know. Fort Lauderdale, I know it's popular, but see, as you know, when you go to the airport, right, Monte? It's Fort Lauderdale, right? Not Miami, Fort Lauderdale. Not Hollywood, not Dania, not Coconut Creek. You stayed in Coconut Creek, right?
Right.
I mean, I had you in Coconut Creek. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, these are all areas of Broward County, but Fort Lauderdale is the most popular part of the city of the county, as you've seen yourself, right? So that's why we say that, Fort Lauderdale. But I mean, you saw different areas of Broward as you've been down here a couple of times. And it's just helped establish early Black neighborhoods, including Sistrunk Corridor, Black Wall Street type vibe. You heard me? When they say, oh, there's a whole bunch of Black Wall Streets everywhere, we slide down. All that right there.
This is another one. And you would have never, you know, you from here, so you heard, but I never heard us ever in my life. You feel me? Of this being no Black. So we think it's just Oklahoma or the ones that may be in your area, but they was all over, bro.
Probably, yeah, we had old Black Wall Street for real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like a whole corridor. You heard me? A whole corridor. Like a whole corridor. And there was people from the Caribbean coming in. They was already here before, but they coming back in. And then at the same time, and I'm talking about all the way from Key West all the way up to West Palm. Like it's that culture because of all this mixture of people who are leaving in a certain time period and migrating into this area. Because like, it's free game now. We already know a bunch of niggas down there.
They see the development coming. They just, what we were talking about earlier, you got to know when you can see what's going on.
Oh, it's opportunity.
And go all in, bro.
I'm sliding. That was an autonomous move at that time.
And we ain't on that no more.
I gotta keep it like that. I know both sides of and they made both my grandmas made autonomous decisions. You heard me? Straight up, coming out of Casetta, Georgia, or Seminole County, Donaldsville, all that, and decided to come down here and how, you know what I mean? My family's tied and all the development of that, you know what I mean? How my mama born, by the way, too, is tied to this very deeply, you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, that's why Gullah culture originates in Sea Islands of South Carolina and Georgia. As we know, shout out to my Gullah, I really got that. When I say that, like I ain't got, you know what I mean? Brunswick, all that. Shout out to my family up there. You heard me what it is. Unique Creole language and coastal traditions. Strong conditions to maritime trade and rice agriculture. Many cultural traditions later appear in the Bahamas and South Florida. You see, because there's a migration taking place from out of the Carolinas and Georgia, Alabama, into South Florida, into these areas before segregation ended. You know what I mean? Black settlement corridor areas. You heard me? And this is what's happening. Slide on, keep it sliding. Did we show Dr. Dixon already? I mean, not Dr. Dixon. Dr. Sistrunk, I meant to say.
Yeah.
I meant to say Dr. Sistrunk. But migration chain, because all this going to show you all that still. Gullah communities from Sea Islands, they coming into Bahamas. See, post-revolution, 1776, revolution, migration of enslaved people, British loyalists, right? And we've been showing you how there's Black Europeans, right? They're British loyalists, right? You see that Sistrunk, look at the name, Germanic, like loyalists, you know what I'm saying? And they coming south, you feel me? After what happened in 1776, some are going all the way down into Trinidad, some are going to the Bahamas, some are going to Jamaica, some people going to, you know what I mean? In 82, shit, you know what I mean? Because they loyalists and they just going where they can go after what happened in this time period. But the Caribbean and the southern southeast have that connection. We know that between the Carolinas down to Florida, the corridor, Gullah Geechee corridor, they call it, you heard me? And even further south to what they call the Glades. Some people might use this terminology for us into Keista territory. Slide down. Seminole and Maroon communities. So Florida hosted Maroon settlements formed by escaped slaves, and they talk about an escape. But you know, hey, I look at it, if you get away from an imperial system and set up your own system, you can split on somebody to do your own thing. It can call it what they want to call it. Some join Seminole communities, see, and known historically as Black Seminoles. And that's what Dr. Dixon was presenting. So you let y'all check that out. Negro Wars, the book. And actually, I gave them all out, ain't it? But
Nah, actually, I got one. You left one in the rental.
Okay, well, damn it, it is what it is. See, everybody, all right, bet money though. So everybody that got a book, shout out to y'all that bought books. A lot of people bought books that day. You know what I mean? During the show, like presentation. It was a room. It was a packed room. We didn't think it was gonna be packed. I ain't gonna lie.
Facts.
Monte, I didn't think they were gonna be packed. I ain't gonna lie to y'all.
Nah, like keep it real. Like, bro, right when it's finna get ready to start, it was just us. It was a ghost town.
It was ghost.
The next thing you know, almost about 75% was full, and then as we got to going, they actually had to bring out a few more chairs.
Family showed up, elders, children.
It was beautiful.
For that, and shout out to everybody that came out for the Tamarack presentation that what we did at the Autonomous Party. That's why I say it was a great, like, you know what I mean? Like, hey, this is the hard part. This information, doing it live in your community and trying to present it in the way we did it. I'm proud of that. Shout out to the party, by the way. Known historically as Black Seminoles, either way, developed autonomous communities in Florida borderlands. See, I say borderlands earlier, wink, wink. You heard me? And I'm going to go into it next week, too. I'm going to show y'all. Because as we're going to explore America, we're going to go into these Black communities. That we have these districts, you know what I mean? And state by state, you heard me? And we're going to be able to show you the borderland situation they're covering up. Because they want you to just say, oh, these Black areas now that have been disenfranchised. You know,
they some escaped slaves. Nah, that ain't what it is, bro.
No, there's a lot more shit going on than what you're telling them in these borderland areas and how they developed and who did what.
And we control. Okay. So why you say that?
It's rule, right? In more detail.
But wait, though, this is important for them to know. So what you was just describing, this town, this is why they downplay the amount of what they would call the Black Wall Streets, because they don't want us to understand that when they integrated, that was not to our benefit. That was to weaken the economy that we had already built. We didn't need no outsiders because we ran, but we had the population size and the areas. Think about it, Sistrunk right here, Broward. But do you know what's a nice house costs out there, Mac? If you want to get you like a 4-bedroom house that's not in the hood in Broward County, how much?
A 4-bedroom going for like 500.
Okay, so imagine you had this area on lock from the 1920s,
right,
bro.
There, sitting on the land, owning the land, having the houses, small house, right? You could have took that same small house and broke it down and redeveloped because the land and work with it in the area you in. So
correct.
You know what I'm saying? On that level of, again, development opportunity zones, and it's upon us right now. See what I'm saying? Foundationally, our foundational borderland communities are urban communities now that sit in the best positions because we were the ones that built these areas at this time to put them in the best positions based off of weather, conditioning, trade, you know what I mean? Things coming in, railroad systems. I mean, you think about it, we were thinking about it when we built the bit. You heard me? That's why they run through our shit at the time frame of what already happened, going into like the understanding of being federally recognized as citizens right now. But at the same time, us autonomously still moving, and then our community structure of being autonomous and setting up what we had, because it was still segregation, Jim Crow in the South. You heard me? So however the case might be, we can slide though. And again, shout out to all the Seminole, Seminole, you know what I mean? Gullah Geechee, and all the influence, Esther Lucy. You heard that the dude said it in Oklahoma, he said, Esther Lucy. And I say, look, see, that's what people don't understand. Esther Lucy really mean, shout out to Monopoly, Borderland. Esther Lucy is the Black nation. That's the Black town. That's the Black settlement. That's the areas that go back to prior to 1639. Because all this is Muskogee territory after the 17th century, and even before it became a Confederacy creek. You heard me? It's going to be known that the Black settlements that are in are governing themselves a certain way. Tower. You heard me? And at the end of the day, they know within that context, this word Esther, you know what I mean? People, person, nation, town, tower. And then Lucy obviously is describing the town that's in the regions of what we known as Muskogee territory. You heard me? And south of it will be where we at today. Y'all been coming down to, you know what I mean? Which originally is Tequista territory that's tied to the mounds. You see what I'm saying? The Seminoles ain't built no mounds down here.
No. And it's so too, when they was going in the whole, this is a part of, when they calling them Black Seminoles, y'all got to understand this is part of revisioning of what Indians were. Seminole is a tribe name that they created to be so they can control who's a part of it. They can also control the narrative of how it came to be. You feel me? So we just documenting what happened, not saying that all these folks are Seminole, because Seminole wasn't a real tribe, no way.
Right. It wasn't. Again, the word Seminole come from Cimarron.
Yeah.
Cimarron, in English, we say Maroons. Yeah. So people that are moving autonomously, and that's mixtures of people, especially in this time frame, period. You know what I mean? Of the integration, mixtures, etc. Especially in the southeast between Alabama, South Georgia. You know what I mean? And how Florida comes about. You know what I mean? Because all that area used to be called Florida. The Carolinas down was Florida originally. And they got
so you had people that could have been here from that time frame easily, and they trying to limp them into being some slavery. It ain't even no proof of no slavery happened on a mass scale in Florida. On a mass scale, think about what I'm saying.
Never have control. That's
they
why
was
they
never.
Converted.
They just claimed it.
They converted Indians on some Roman Catholic shit, but they ain't take control of it.
They never had that whole land mass, bro.
Like that in Florida, like that. Like they learned
them boys had a fort or two.
Soto. They learned that lesson with Chief Tuscaloosa, with the Soto, how we got the word Lusa tied to Estalusa in the first place. Going back to the earlier time period of Spanish coming into North America, which is the oldest town in North America is where? St. Augustine, Florida. You heard me? So as a European established colonial presence on the continent of North America. Now people can get it confused. Nombre de Dios is where it is. 1565 is there. You heard me? But still, Estalusa is being used prior to that because Chief Tuscaloosa predates 1565 chronologically. See what I'm saying? You gotta put your timeline together. Either way, though, we can keep sliding. Estalusa, though. Gullah Estalusa Amacario. That's what I would say like that. For y'all out there. Get the Carolina Genesis. I'm gonna do a build on that this week. Trust me, it's coming. I'm doing it in parts. There's too much in it. We've been saying it, but I'm gonna start doing it because we got to bring context to this. South Florida as a cultural corridor, though. So the Caribbean. Shout out to all the Caribbean that obviously are in South Florida today. You know what I'm saying? From Jamaican, Haitian, the Bahamian, the Trinidadian. We have a guy. We have so many different Caribbean Black cultures now today that's in here, just like we have Spanish. You know what I'm saying? And we obviously have the white, Anglo-Saxon, whatever, that's down here. However, in the history of it, the Caribbean Sea Islands and the Gulf Coast networks, which is going to be tied to obviously the Bay Area, Tampa and all that coming down, movement of people, language, food, and religion across the region. Bahamian migration helped carry the Sea Island tradition into Florida. See what I'm saying? To show that, remember, the Bahamas really is connected to the Carolinas. It's an island off the Carolinas. It's only 50 miles away. It's not that far away. Sistrunk became a major cultural node in this corridor. So when you understand Black history in this area where my people from, you know, we say Sistrunk, you see a festival today, the cops come and block it off and everything, Monte, right? Sit outside and let everybody do their thing for blocks, right? Take over the whole street for the whole day. You heard me? Because of that, understanding of this is a corridor. And, you know what I mean? This is our culture down here that most people not understanding that, you know what I mean? While we come together from different areas of Broward County to go to this festival. You know what I mean? So however the case, next slide, we can keep moving. That's all. I want to slide on this because we got, what's my next link I want to show? It was something else I had in between all this. To make sure
you got to call it.
Correlation. So as I'm going through the slides for this, because we make sure they properly.
I know you got historic Sistrunk, you got.
Yeah, show historic Sistrunk. So they don't think we making none of this up. Show the source for that. Because it's not like just me saying it. You know, I'm saying it. Well, you know, there's a website and everything tied to it. You can make it bigger for the folk. Just to highlight Sistrunk so they can see it. You know what I mean? It's historic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm trying to post it. Hold on.
I've been doing presentations on Black history on 27 at the African Research Center. Shout out to Wild Man Teddy T. On books that they have dealing with all the stuff that we be talking about because it's sitting as one of the major research centers in America. Sitting on 27th in Sistrunk. They got all the books. People don't know. I would tell you to go there. If you got a book you're looking to pull out and you live in the local area and ask them about it because they most likely got it. You know what I'm talking about? Even if they might let you rent it out or you know, take it out on your library card, you can still go upstairs in the archives and look up a lot of things, especially tied to their communities of Broward County at that research center. You know what I mean? Which I would tell is important for you to tap into it if you're into genealogy, heritage, lineage of the area. They have it archived. You know what I mean? The schools, the historical schools that were here prior to segregation. You know what I mean? Shout out to Addicts High School. You know what I mean? I went there in 6th grade for the summer. Dillard, here, my daughter graduated from Dillard. And then shout out to Ely, Pompano. These are the 3 major Black historic before segregation schools in this area of Broward County. So all the families that went through these schools and went to certain things in their family structure that been here before segregation ended, meaning this is obviously prior to 1965, right? You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's important that you know what's happening where you from and how your people were structured prior to segregation in your area.
Right.
You hear me? That's why this is important. As I'm only highlighting this as a blueprint for you to look at your own area and start saying, well, the genealogy, yeah. And my people got here like, yeah. And we were here at this time frame, yeah. And we were doing
and
this.
What was going on? Yeah. And then
so
what happened? Hey, and then the last part of that is, right? You see what was going on pre-integration.
Right.
Then you realize what it looked like after.
That
and
part.
Even now coming in today, because Sistrunk, like, don't get it twisted now. Sistrunk, what they building, you can see the potential, but that don't mean that it's still not need work and because the outskirts of what's going on, it's still real urban out there. Yeah, man.
Oh, you listen, you go one street over,
yeah,
and you're not in the same world no more.
Whole different world. So it's still work to be done,
like
but at
Louisiana,
least they're doing it.
You on Sistrunk, you say the commercial shit does.
Yeah.
Okay, you in the
you
neighborhood.
Pop outside of that, it can get ugly.
It's not the same at night. You hear me? Like, it's things going on. Just, if you go to South Beach, it's the same way. If you went to Overtown, Wynwood, where everybody be talking about.
We just went to with Broadway.
Y'all too, right? All
Broadway spot right by Wynwood.
Yeah, you can show up. You can, and hey, where he was at, it's only 11 minutes because y'all got lost for a minute. I'm like, remember?
Right.
I'm like, bro, this ain't where this man at, bro. This is Wynwood. I'm like, bro, there's no way in the world this man has this building in Wynwood. He's only 10 minutes away from Wynwood. So that's why people
close.
Say, oh, hey, he by Wynwood. So people that not understanding, to kind of get a logistics understanding where you at. But Liberty City is not Wynwood. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Yeah, right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't get into it. See, you can make the wrong turn 10 minutes away and be at the wrong. You're in Miami, just like you could be in Broward County. No.
But then the flip side to that is the positive benefit. You got all the motivation in the world to want to get it right here, because if you do, you an extension of what's already been built there, and you can capitalize off of it. You feel me? Because you know they'll love to dip off and go get some good Black food and shout. As long as they feel safe, they gonna
slide. That's why it's on the major road. Look, I took I'm gonna give a shout out. We took finger licking, right?
Finger licking. Yeah,
it was right off 125th. That's considered North Miami to me. You know what I'm saying? On 119th, just a block away. I used to do shit, you know what I mean? Entertainment wise, right there. But however, it's a night. My finger licking, as you've seen, and people should know it, who own, popular people that set up that brand. But it's right off the highway, right?
Right.
It's right off the highway. Not like you got to go into the community to find it. There's other spots in the community I could have took you to, but if you want to get right off the highway, get what you want, and then slide back out, it's right off the highway. You know what I mean? So you ain't got to feel no way about being deep in the trenches. When y'all went to Liberty City, you were deep in the trenches.
Oh, yeah.
You don't see no bunch of restaurants in that area. That man is developing that. Broadway. Right. Shout out to Broadway. He's getting ready to do that. That's what's getting ready to bring an eye to what's happening. And I want to give him a shout out again, because we're gonna come back to him, because we doing this special. I gotta give him a shout out for that. Shout out to Armin Johnson and them, because what they doing is special down there in Liberty City. You hear me?
Between Liberty City and what they got going on in Sistrunk, man, like I say, just seeing it, being an outsider, it's just motivation, and it's also showing that there is action to be had. So while all these motherfuckers sitting around here with all this woe is me and talking, bro, that ain't no strategy. You feel me? Just laying down and saying that ain't no strategy.
Are you scared of your community? Actually, some people don't even get involved with the things that's happening in their community, besides what they say online. They don't really go into the areas and find out who own the buildings, who own the lands, what's happening right now in the major districts, opportunity zones happening within your district. You know what I mean? You got politicians running for your vote in your district, and there's opportunity zones there that they can actually help you get all the things you need set up to maintain and do what you need to do autonomously within your district. You know what I'm saying? In your historical areas that's being preserved. Because goddamn it, gentrification, as I showed you, the high rises is right there. They literally come up to 9th. In 3 years, when you come back down again, it's gonna be high rises sitting right across the street from Provident.
Closer and closer and closer, yeah.
All right. So that's the reality of it. It's only a small zone that you might be able to restore besides owning the property around it.
Right.
That strip, though,
and time is ticking
by you autonomously.
Yeah.
Dealing with the economic situations of what you're doing in these districts. Where the city gonna give you,
because once it's gone this time, it's gonna be quite some time before you can have this type of leverage to get something back. Like they finna price everybody out, bro.
Hey, the opportunity zone, by the way, ain't nothing new for y'all that think.
No.
It happened before the pandemic, and y'all might not even known about it, but it was Trump that actually put the opportunity zone situation in place.
His first term, yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. I gotta keep it real because there's some people I know that were running business. Like, hey, look, man, that man set up the opportunities over there, so I opened up business over there because I know I can get money from the city to do what I got to do in the opportunity zone. You know what I mean? So you need to know how to tap into your area and know what's going on. You could be mad at him or not, but you better get that opportunity. You hear me?
Right.
However the case might be, if you ain't got the finances to do it yourself autonomously. We can keep sliding though. Sistrunk.
Yeah, I think that was it, bro.
Okay, but you know, I think it was something else real quick. Hold on.
Liberia?
Yeah, I want to show that real quick though. Yeah, zoom in on that right there though. This is what I want to end on. Yeah, right on time. Sistrunk. So on my side of the family, you heard me? Liberia, first time you came down, I took you to Liberia, right? Hollywood, Florida. That's my mama's side of the family, right? My people's from my dad's side, Hollandale, Carver Ranches, you know what I mean? 21st, right from the YMCA. But on the other side is Hood Street. Now they call it Hope Street. You hear me? My grandma had a house and she mad property within Dania and Liberia territory. You heard? And actually the woman you see on this picture is my ancestor, this is my cousin, it's my family, it's my blood through my mama. You hear me? So within this, Liberia though, is my mama was from this area right here. Same lady right there, younger than my mama, obviously, right? And that family and my family lived on the same street, like houses down from each other on what we call Hood Street, now called Hope Street, right? And we're related because you can go 2 blocks over and then my family, I got uncles in them, they in the tar business. I got, you know what I mean? People that's owning churches, they got lots, etc. in Liberia. The craziest part I gotta bring out is my connection to Sistrunk is that my mama was born by Dr. Sistrunk. Because that was in the time frame, that's who serviced people being born. So happened that the district that I'm at now, sitting on right now, Provident Market, where I'm at now, named after the doctor and his family who were here. Remember Monte, right?
Yeah.
His family was here. Is tied to the Provident Hospital, tied to my mama being born in this area.
That's the crazy part.
And they live, and my people live in Hollywood, Florida, Liberia, though. You heard me? You know what I'm saying? 954 still, though. But at the same time, the major city of Broward County is Fort Lauderdale. You see what I'm saying? And black-wise, during segregation, if you had to be serviced a certain way, Sistrunk is that district. You know what I'm saying? Even when I got to high school, my attorney's office that my parents dealt with was off of Sistrunk. See what I'm saying? So that's how you know the connection between from Pompano to Sistrunk down to Hollywood in our areas during segregation and the major black schools that were here, that we had no choice to, in our family communities, we intertwined with each other from the churches to the social clubs to the hubs and all the things going on. And that's why it's very important for you to know your community, right? And now from back then, your heritage is foundational. You people were here before segregation even ended, and knowing that network of your family and why they even today might be spread out within the area, but they all have ties to certain things, land, etc. And that's why it's very interesting for you to know more about your hair, you know what I'm saying? Migrations, different things. I'll give you proof of it, right? Monte, you done came down here multiple times. And I've been showing you different pieces of things tied to my heritage, of my family. You know what's crazy? Because my dad was in the military and got drafted. Like you showed that joint in the beginning. He was getting drafted. My dad was that nigga back then. You heard me? Like,
yeah, the last draft.
Vietnam.
That was the last one.
Yeah, so I wasn't even born. My sister was born down here, right? But I wasn't. Because by the time I was born, he already been stationed after Vietnam and all the other things. And I was born in Norfolk, Virginia. So even though I got family down here in Georgia and different areas, I was born there because of where my dad's circumstances, you heard me? Being drafted with the war of that time frame, Vietnam. So foundationally speaking, you know what I'm saying? And my dad did 20-something, you already know, E8, through all that, Master Sergeant, everything. Shout out to him for doing it, because I told him I ain't doing it, though. You heard me? Like how buddy said, I ain't going. Hey, Pokey, hey, you gonna come with me? No, stop playing. For real, though. Tap in, though. Maroonville weekend next year. It's a festival every year. It's many a festival, matter of fact. Shout out to Broadway. I'm gonna be at his festival in Liberty City on March 28th. You know what I mean? They blocking off the whole block like how they did Sistrunk. Shout out to Broadway. He showed us this now. And they got streets named after artists. Broadway that made the streets named.
Yeah, that was crazy.
The street
that was the first time I ever saw that.
The street named after him, but he made the inner parts of the streets. Shout outs to artists who made songs that are with top or Hot 100, and he got the records and everything. Like he really doing this on the block. He doing the shout out to Wild Man Teddy T. They shout out the Headliner. They doing their thing on that to put into this to see this historical thing happen. So I'm gonna be there on the 28th of March myself. I'm gonna get some footage for y'all. We tied in, tapped in. Shout out to again Wild Man Teddy T for that plug. You know what I mean? What he been doing in the community for a long time. I gotta give credit to where it's due. If you're doing the work autonomously, I gotta give it. You know what I mean? We ain't at this point. We ain't running as a borderland Maroon. We can't run nowhere. We from where we from. Urban communities, they call it foundationally where our people come from, and now we raised here, raising our families here. And at this point, I call it the borderland because these are the areas that have food deserts, have been disenfranchised, and we see foreign situations taking place within our communities that are servicing us. When we know at a certain time during segregation, no one can service us but us. For us by us, autonomously. So however you want to look at that, you caught up in your feelings. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm gonna keep it realer than fishing rods. You hear me?
We don't get back to that. It's over, bro.
Yeah, we ain't got no time for that. You can romanticize about whatever different idea of what your people were prior to colonization and all that. And I understand that. We covered that in history. But we got to be realist and where we at now. You heard me? That's what it is right now. Because right now, we in the situation right now. You can get caught up in worrying about the past, and this thing gonna pass you by. You heard me? Far side. On the Maroon side, though, the harsh reality is live life autonomously. We're gonna go into that borderland shit next week. I'm gonna break it down for y'all. I'm coming back. And we in the exile positions and situations of free people of color and doing certain things. I'm gonna show you certain things. You know, I done did a little dig on it. Borderland monopoly. You heard me? We've been saying monopoly. Monte, am I lying? Have we not been saying? The mind over everything, nation of people from the most highly exalted source must understand that the harsh reality is live life autonomously. You heard me? And we got to do things in an autonomous way. Acts 9:12, you heard me? Jeremiah 31:31, you heard me? Keep it Yasher. Keep it indigenous. And be about Gullah, you heard me? Till next time. Peace.
We going, y'all.
Yes, Lord. We left this truth in harmony. They feed the world with the money that we get. Yet our little ones cry with so much life to live. Life to live. Life to live. We stand in the storm, still trusting in love. But when the table's set, who's feeding us? Who's feeding us? Who's feeding us? Who's feeding us? Millions were taken that belonged to the children. Food meant for their hands, Ever reached a building, a system built the doorway and opened it wide. Gave others all the comfort while we stood outside. The officers in power, when not one gentle blessing reached the neighborhoods we made. They keep saying equity, calling it trust, yet the blessings keep on flowing everywhere but us. Get our little ones cry. So much life to live. Ooh, life to live. Life to live. We show up faithful, standing strong and just. So in the table set, who's feeding us? Who's feeding us? We carry the burden of taxes and patience. Still we watch our schools fade in desperation. Silence for the far when it happens far away, but scared hands eyes on us whenever we stray. Our voices keep lifting each election year, yet the love and protection never seem to come near. Promises repeated, settle in the dust, while resources in favor never fall. Lift our hopes, lift our hearts, guide our children, got that star. No more silence, no more hugs. Tell this nation who's feeding us. Who's feeding us? Stand in faith, then offer our trust. Tell us again, who's feeding love? When we stand in faith, then offer our trust. Tell us again, who's feeding us?
Could take quite a bit of time.
Pardon my autonomy. I know one day they'll honor me. This ain't pertaining to 28 Deuteronomy. Self-determination, controlling our situation. Ain't no more indoctrination from pale faces. How the fuck you bummed me and broke but a pale racist? My lineage free people of color with a left make each nigga. This right here maroon, now it ain't burgundy. If you plotting murder, I'm certain that you'll need surgery. Hurt from when the burner squeeze. Protecting tribe business. Only consulting with governments tried to tribe with it. Please don't confuse us with those considered native. Semi-autonomy never was in our nature. Just address me as Esther Lusty. Wild Indian status and Cherokees riding Ruchis. In my war bonnet, if you want it, bring it to your region. And black forces the same color the European. Pardon my autonomy. I know one day they'll honor me. This ain't pertaining to 28 Deuteronomy. Self-determination, controlling our situation. Ain't no more indoctrination from pale faces.
Aborigines, which means what? Black folks. You never find a white aborigine. Aborigines are called natives, or they're always dark-skinned people. You and I are aborigines, but you don't like to be called an aborigine.